This video is a tutorial on how to use the software program ImageJ to measure windows in your study buildings. It's an accessory video to the video on the protocol for measuring windows that is found on the EREN Bird-window Collisions Google Sites page that we created. I should also mention that in producing the video, the software clipped out the very top and bottom of my computer screen, so you won't see some of what I'm selecting from the top menu bar in the ImageJ software program, but you'll be able to hear me list out the menu items and tools that I'm clicking on, and this should work out just fine. So when you open the program, this simple panel comes up. You go to File, Open, and you open the photograph that contains the windows that you want to measure. Alright, so I mentioned in the last video that when you want to measure windows using this software package, you need to include a standard in the photograph, and the example I gave was like a yardstick. I couldn't find a yardstick anywhere, so the alternative is, and if you're in this situation too, the alternative is to measure some feature in the photograph, but measure that out in the field. So for instance, instead of using a yardstick, I measured the distance between this edge of the window frame to this edge of the window frame. So there's my standard, a known distance that I took out in the field, but I also have that included in the photograph. So the first thing you want to do before you measure your windows is to tell the computer what the standard is, what the scale is. And so you click on that line function here on this toolbar, and I go from one edge of the window frame to the other, and then I go up to Analyze, Set Scale, and this window pops up. And the distance in pixels of that line I just drew is that many, but I know the distance, the true distance of that line, which is 102 inches. So you want to include the units of the standard that you measured. Click OK, and now the program knows how to accurately calculate window area. So to start measuring windows, you go back up to this tool panel, and I don't know if you can tell in this photograph here, but if I wanted to measure this window here, it looks to me as if it's just tilted to the left a little bit. And I'm thinking with your photographs as well, they're not going to be perfectly straight ahead. They may be a little distorted just a little bit, and so I'm going to use the polygon feature to measure, for instance, this window here. And to start measuring, for instance, this window is you just simply draw an outline using that polygon feature, drawing an outline of the window. And that outline is complete. You go back to Analyze, you go Measure, and this is the area of that window. Alright, I'm going to put this off to the side, I'm going to put this off to the side. Alright, so this should look like a spreadsheet, and eventually you'll be able to save all of your measurements in this spreadsheet, and it'll convert it to an Excel spreadsheet. I'll show you how to do that in a second, but let's just say that you want to measure all the windows in this photograph. And so to do that, you just simply keep drawing polygons around the windows in which you want to measure. So I'm going to measure this window down here just as another example. And there is not the best drawing maybe, but go to Measure, and the new measurement, or the measurement of that window in terms of the area, is now in the second row. So the cool thing about this program is it keeps keeps track of all the windows that you measure. So let's say I've measured all the windows that I need to measure. I click and highlight, make this window active, go to File, Save As, and you can see it's going to be saved as an Excel spreadsheet. So I'll just give it a file name, and I'll just list the name of the building that these window measurements come from. Go Save, and so that'll allow you later to do all your calculations in Excel. So I hope this gets you going on how to use ImageJ to measure windows for your study buildings.